What's up? What's up? So, all right, my bad. Police quotas for whoever's unfamiliar with what police quotas are. Let me give you a little brief rundown. Officers in any random precinct house have to effectuate a certain number of arrests each quarter, meaning every 90 days. There's 4 quarters in a fiscal year, all right? So if you are a patrol officer, anti-crime officer, whatever may have you, you have to effectuate a certain number of arrests per, again, 90 days per quarter, okay? If you don't, now I don't know what happens, if you just fail to make, to satisfy the exact number here and there, like it's rare. But if you show a pattern of, if you look lackadaisical, or they deem you lackadaisical, lax in regards to locking people up, then I'm sure they hand out some type of penalty, whether it having your vacation days taken. I don't know right now. This is all conjecture. I'm just speculating, but I'm sure that there's some type of penalty. In order to deter officers from, being lax and not making the number of arrests that's needed. Now, the reason that it's needed is because city, especially city housing precincts, are funded by state and federal, the state and federal authoritative establishment, right? So if you're any type of random precinct house and you're not handing over, a certain number of arrests per fiscal year, then the authoritative establishment says, why the fuck do we need you? We don't need you. There's no crime in your area, or it's a very low rate of crime. We don't need you, or we don't need the number of officers that you guys dispatch, out of your precinct house. So they start pushing guys into early retirement. They transfer guys. They do this, they do that, and make guys, the officers' lives extremely uncomfortable. Okay. So anyway, that's something that's frowned upon. Not making that precinct house, not making its quota. But what people fail to realize is this: when you put that type of strain on any individual officer, what you do is that officer is no longer, looking to pursue active criminals. What he's doing is, well, I'm sorry, I live in Brooklyn, man. It's loud, it's noisy. What he's doing is he's on the hunt for herbs, Vicks. He just wants to make his quota so that he doesn't have any fucking problems, right? I mean, listen. Like I said in another video when I discussed this whole police quota dynamic, it's unfair to the officer to put him in that type of position, but it's 10 times more unfair to us. All right, and on top of that, they couple that with racial profiling, right? You even had fucking goofy ass Mayor Bloomberg make a statement years ago, 3-4 years ago, that said, when it came to profiling, 16 to 18, I believe he said, black males, prime target. Okay, 5 boroughs, 16 to 18. You see a 16 to 18-year-old black male, You throw him on the fucking wall and you search him. This is when stop and frisk was big. Oh boy, how many times I got arrested because of that stop and frisk shit. But thank God it's over. It doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, the whole police quota thing is alive and well. Now what happens is it's basically a mechanism in order to, ensure arrests. Let's say you have 50 officers in any random housing precinct, right? Each officer is, obligated to lock up at least 15 people within that quarter, right? So 50 times 15, right? 75 people. So there's 75 people each officer. 75 people each quarter, right? Okay, 75 times 4 is what? 300. 300 people a year. And I'm keeping those numbers modest. All right, it's more like 550 to 600 each precinct house. And the more deplorable the environment in which they patrol, the higher the number gets. But again, it's a mechanism in order to subjugate. Because now you have to lock people up. You have to. You can't go 3 months, 6 months, a year without making an arrest. You out of your fucking gourd? Never. Okay? Like Tony Montana said, you do that to have you working in Alaska. So dress warm. You know what I'm saying? I would have fucking said it. You get my drift, right? Now, on top of that, once they make those arrests, what they do is, well, it's gotten better now since the Bail Reform Act and all that has come into play. All right, I know firsthand, that they're working with people that are being arrested for any random offense. It's an unfortunate reality, but last week, for some odd reason, NYPD decided to kick my door in because somebody told them I had a firearm, okay, which was a lie. Now, they recovered a firearm in front of my residence, but I live in a building. That could be anybody's. It doesn't necessarily be mine. And therefore, because it was in a common area, they dropped charges. When I was supposed to go to the day I was supposed to go to grand jury. But I tell you what, it's only because of this political climate. If this would have occurred, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been done-ski. You heard? I mean, listen, I got 6 felonies, 4 state bids. They would have smoked me, just like this cigarette. So, it is what it is. But, even though things are getting a little better, we're far from done when it comes to, revamping this whole prison industrial complex thing. Because they're still taking advantage of members of the black and brown community in order to what? Create goods and services for pennies on a dollar. That's what it's all about, cheap labor. From the transatlantic slave trade all the way to modern day, this day and age, modern day slavery. Prison industrial complex is the transatlantic slave trade. People got to open their eyes. But, we're looking to, like I said, to revamp that and free up people, man, because they deserve it. See you later. God bless.